Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Melon here, and unfortunately this is the second time I've had to record this because my expert did the wrong mic. Just honestly so painful. Like, I've got exams at the moment, I have to get through this really quickly. I did a decent draft analysis, but now I feel like I've taken up too much time, so this is definitely going to be much more rushed. Okay, so sorry, no graphics and stuff, like I said, in a bit of a rush with exams and stuff. I'm about to play my week 1 match actually as well. I need to get this done, and I really want to have it rendered before the match, but it's in 20 minutes now, which it would have rendered in 20 minutes because it was such a short video, but now it won't. Oh, cool. Okay, so going into the draft, I knew I wanted Mega Blaziken to begin with, and when that went, I was thinking, like, what do I really want to use in Gen 7 before Gen 7 finishes, basically. No, 2 answers. 3 answers. Tapu Koko, Celesteela, because I've never had the privilege of being second or first in a draft. And then they've never fallen to me. So, screw you, die. Because that man gets drafted 8s and Celesteela falls to him. But that's whatever. That's just a joke. And the other thing was Volcarona. I saw Yaki use it in MPL, and I was so hyped. I was like, that looks so much fun. I really want to use Volk. I use it on the ladder quite a bit. And I actually made a team, a ladder team, based around Aki's MPL team. That was freaking awesome. I did really well with that team. So yeah, super excited to use Volcarona. So I decided to go and grab Giratina, as it's one of the best defoggers. It can be offensive, can be defensive. This thing is so versatile, and you guys are going to see I have so many great defog options on this team, and I have good rockers. So I'm looking good for Hazard Wars. I think I can pick and choose my defoggers pretty well. And it leaves stuff like my Giratina, and as you can see, my next pick, my Mew, not forced into one role at all. I love Mew so much. I used it in the GBA D League, and I thought it's just such a good mon. Like, it's just so versatile, it can literally do anything. If you're in a pinch, you don't have a very good matchup, Mew. You can normally find a win con in Mew. It's not always going to be the best win con you have. That's why when you have such a terrible matchup, you can find a win con in Mew. So really excited to use Mew again. I've got a few more options with Mew this time, as it is an offensive Z user, and Munium Z is allowed, so that is pretty cool. Might be able to get some sweeps in with this bad boy, but we'll have to see about that. So next up is Mega Sizzle. Mega, it's called Gareth because Mew's called Sperm Bank because it's the DNA of all Pokemon, supposedly. So it basically just, it's the sperm bank of Pokemon was my idea with that. Yeah, I know, I'm hilarious. Then we have Gareth because in GPC, this guy called Gareth, you guys probably know him. He just always drafts this thing first round. He absolutely loves this thing. I think he'd marry it if he could. So yeah, that's Mega Sizzle. You know what it does. Bullet Punch Technician. Big fun stuff. Big fun stuff indeed. So next up is Volk. Volk is, like I said, the mon I wanted to use this time. It's another Z user of mine. It's so bulky, like, it's mysteriously bulky. Mysteriously? Not mysteriously. It's weirdly, it can be bulky. What am I saying? You can run this thing really bulky, and it can be really annoying to deal with. That is what I'm trying to say. If you don't have Hidden Power Rock or Rock Slide on every other mon, and then if you do have that and I don't bring it, then you don't have Hidden Power Fire for my Sizzle, or you've used up a move slot, or you don't have coverage for either of these two. So yeah. So next up is Shaolin, my Mienshao, creating a pretty scary ghost psychic fighting core, and it resists the dark that both of these two are weak to. And I would say one of the biggest weaknesses of my team is that I'm a tiny bit dark weak, and we face Greninja twice this season, and it's protein, and one is Battle Bond, so there's that. And Battle Bond's going to be harder because it's definitely going to get a kill versus my team Greninja, like, for sure, definitely. 100%. But hopefully the opponent doesn't look at how I prep for Protein Gren, because I've got some decent prep for Protein Gren, would also work, but if they prep for it, then oh well. So there's that. So next up is Nidoking, my next tier 3. Yeah, I think this was tier 3, dude. Yeah, I think so. It's got rocks, which is super nice. It's shiny. It's called Sully. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Yeah. You guys, like, you know what it does. It's sheer force, life orb, maybe a berry, you know. It's a Nido pretty much. Yeah, it's a Nido. So moving on to Pima the Whimsicott. Another 4x weakness. It could have Moonblast, Encore, Leech Seed, all that good jazz. All that good jazz. It can have all of it. Prankster is just insane ability. It gives me a fairy type. I know it's not that great because it's got 4x weakness, and generally fairy types with the 4x weakness don't really check dragons as well, obviously, and that's what one of the main uses of fairy types. But I think Whimsicott is going to be seriously good. It's another defogger, and it's actually a good defogger, like it's Prankster, so it's always going to get the defog off pretty much, and it's fast. It gives me a good speed tier. It has good coverage. It's actually not that easy to switch into, just because fairies aren't really, it's not very easy type to switch into, and most steels don't really appreciate being leech seeded. And there's not really enough good steals to go around, man, so some teams are going to be very weak. You know what I mean? So next up is Jeremiah was the Bullfrog, and that is our Seismitoad with Water Absorb. Sorry, it gives me another rocker, so that is now 3 rockers. It gives me a Scald Switch in, it gives me another ground type, so that electric types just have no idea what they're doing against my team, because you guys are going to see I have 3 immunities and 4 resists to electric types. Like, that's kind of insane. And then I have like 1 weakness, 2 maybe? 1, I think 1. But yeah, you know what this thing does again. Like I said, I know this is so bad as an analysis, but I have to get it up, and I've already recorded it once and it was actually decent, but this is just terrible. I'm distracted and everything, so sorry about that. It's a good one. It has good coverage. It doesn't have that great stats, but it actually is really bulky, and you can invest in especially defensive. You can run this thing offensively. Water Absorb is a great ability. So next up is a mon I'm really excited to use, and that is Starburst, and I've never seen this thing used in draft format. Tup had it in the first season of the GBA for season 7 when they did the open draft. Yeah. Tup had it then. I don't think he brought it, and if he brought it, he was never able to get a setup or anything like that. So I'm really excited to just set up and sweep with this thing, basically. But I've got some funky sets that I think maybe could come. This thing is my 4th rocker as well. Yeah, my 4th rocker. So it's obviously not a great rocker, but gives me a 120 speed tier. And like I said, I'm not always going to be bringing this thing Shell Smash. I think I'll probably bring it not Smell Smash? I'll probably bring it not Shell Smash more than I'll bring it Shell Smash. It's probably not going to come loads, but when it does come, I think it's going to have a big impact. And it's the kind of thing, if you don't prep for the speed tier, which I don't think people will, because they'll be expecting Shell Smash. Because they'll be expecting Shell Smash, they won't prep for the 120 speed tier, so they'll get more bulk, or they'll get modest in their faster mons, and that would be great for me for my funky little sets I have planned. And yeah, I think this thing can do really well. If I do want to Shell Smash, because it's got such big speed, it's a bit like Holucha, I can invest quite a lot in bulk, and I can run Sash, or I can run the Power Herb, and it's actually reasonably bulky in Meteor form. So pretty keen to use this thing. Like I said, I've never seen anyone use it, and I think my team has the support for it and Volk, because I think it really appreciates not having rocks on the field. Let alone a parting shot or something like that. So next up we have Bagheera, which is my last Z move user. This is utility Z, so I can use utility and offensive. So obviously when you want this thing to be Z, you want to use Z parting shot more than anything, because it's so great, and I think my team really appreciates the Z parting shot, whether it is Seismitoad, whether it's Whimsicott, whether it's Mega Sizzle, whether it's Giratina, whether it's Mew, like all of those, and even Nidoking. All of those things love getting all their health back. Like if I can beat Volk's check with Volk, but it leaves Volk really low, boom, Z parting shot, we're back in the game. And they have lowered attack and defense. Potentially I can get a Quiver Dance off and win. So next up is Ginger. Another utility mon. These last two are basically just utility mons on the team. You guys are going to see I have a lot of Volt turn on this team. This is basically what Ginger does to me. It gives me electric type, it's fast, good speed tier, Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Grass Knot, Vogue Splash, good coverage, nasty plot. I think the best person I've ever seen use Raichu is probably 6-foot Hacks. Like, you can use Wish with this thing, he used it really well. Like, I think Leo used this thing like a champ, so hopefully I can try and imitate how he used it. But that is pretty much the team. I'm pretty happy with the team. I've got 4 Stealth Rockers, I've got 4 Defoggers, which is really good for the Hazard War. I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Volt Turn / Parting Shot. 6, wait, Mew, Scizor, Volcarona, Mienshao, Whimsicott, Alolan Persian and Raichu. 7. I've got 7 out of 11 mons. That's insane. That's insane. And 4 out of my first 5. So yeah, I really like the Volt Turn on this team. I don't usually use that much Volt Turn because I like to make doubles and stuff, but it's definitely not a bad thing to have, and it's an annoyance for opponents to prep for. And it can lead to people making wacky plays like staying in when they really shouldn't on Volt Turn. Although sometimes that's a bad thing because sometimes I click Volt Switch and it makes me mad, or U-turn or whatever. So that is basically the team. I'm really excited to use this team. I really wish I could go into more detail for you guys, but like I said, I've got finals at the moment, so what you're going to do. So that is going to be all from me. I know this was a horrible, horrible video, but I hope you kind of enjoyed nonetheless. The first one was way better, I swear, and I got it done really quickly. I was really happy, and then the freaking mic. But I will smell you guys later.